Good evening. It is good to see you tonight. Welcome to the broadcast on this 9th day of October 2023. We are glad that you've chosen EBN TV to inform you tonight. We've got quite a bit in store. Let's get started with the day's top stories. President William Ruto signs privatization bill as government seeks to save failing public institutions. Made in Kenya, the MV Uhuru 2 launched in Kisumu.
Ya muhimu ya kuwaeleza ni kwamba kumekuwa na threat mpya kuhusu polio.
Ministry of Health steps up polio vaccination as government decries less numbers. Israel-Palestine war claims over 1,500 lives as escalation enters day 3. Well, we're coming to you live from Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Thank you for your valuable company. Our SMS line is 23059. Watch us on Facebook and on YouTube on EBN TV. Cynthia Nanjala, EBN Prime Edition begins right now. President William Ruto on Monday assented to the privatization bill at the Kisumu State Lodge. The Privatization Act seeks to allow the Treasury to exclude Parliament from approving the sale of state-owned farms in changes aimed at shortening the approval process for the sale of government assets. The state-backed act comes at a time when the government has announced plans to sell a number of state-owned farms through the Nairobi Security Exchange this year. Ruto said his government will bring to the bows through initial public offerings between 6 and 10 companies, urging the private sector also to list at least 5 companies to boost the Nairobi bows. However, the government will now not privatize the sugar companies in the country. Instead, it will lease them to individuals who will sign a memorandum of understanding to run the companies. This is according to the head of state, who is in Migori County for a development visit for the 3rd day in the Nyanza area. The debts of the Sony Sugar Factory will be paid before December this year, as the president insists that it is a must for sugarcane farmers to harvest when they planted to get a good payment for their crops.
Wiki hii tumepatiwa certificate sasa kutoka bunge ya write off ya hizo madeni yote. Kwa wiki 2, 3, 4 zijazo tutatangaza sasa rasmi vile hizi kampuni zitaendelea mbele ikisimamiwa kwa njia ya sawa. Mimi nitatoa pesa ya Wakenya tulipe wakulima. Na hapa wakulima wa hapa wanadai kampuni yao shilingi milioni 865. So hiyo pesa nitatafuta, tutakuja kulipa kabla ya
Constitution envisaged a situation where the president of a nation may be of a different political party like it is today, and the governor of a county is of a different political party as it is today. But these are people's government, and for the sake of implementing the Constitution, let us create a culture of working together irrespective of our political parties and our political differences. These people have no time to waste. They need money, they need food, they need employment, and they need growth.
We want to be part of the re-election of your government in 2027. And as a people, we are not going to wait for you to form the government, then we wait to join. We will form the next government with you, Your Excellency.
Musikuwe na wasiwasi ya kwamba kutatokea na hili ama lile. We are going to work together as the people of Kenya. We are going to work together. We are stronger as a nation together. We are weaker when we are divided. Ndio nimesema ya kwamba hatutaki tena tugawanywe kwa misingi ya kabila ama siasa ya kugawanya watu. Tunataka tuungane, tushirikiane, ndio tuweze kupeleka taifa letu la Kenya mbele pamoja.
Well, the President today also commissioned the MV Uhuru 2 at the Kenya Shipyards Limited in Kisumu County. Its first voyage on Lake Victoria will soon be realized after the grand launch, a move anxiously awaited by transporters of fuel to neighboring East Africa countries. The MV Uhuru 2 is the first ship to be built in Kenya from scratch, and the completion of the construction of the 2.4 billion ship officially marks Kenya the pioneer of shipbuilding in East and Central Africa. The vessel has been constructed and assembled locally, saving Kenyan taxpayers 1.3 billion, an amount that would have been spent on importations. The MV Uhuru 2, with a capacity of 1,800 tons, was built at the Kenya shipyard at Kenyan agencies, including the Kenya Defence Forces, in partnership with the Dutch firm Damen Shipyards.
I hereby do place MV Uhuru 2 into commission. May her engines roar and bring her to life. May the glide of her sail be smooth. May good tidings be with her and her crew. May the Almighty God bless her voyages.
Now, elsewhere, to some developing story this evening, the High Court has temporarily stopped the government from deploying police to Haiti after Third Way Alliance sued the state to block the move on grounds it was not approved by Parliament. President William Ruto has been listed as a respondent alongside the National Security Council, Inspector General of Police Japheth Kome, the Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki, the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, and the Attorney General Justin Muturi. Dr. Ekuru Okot and Third Way Alliance Chairperson Miruri Waweu filed the petition last Friday, arguing that Kenya's constitution restricts police officers to operating within Kenya's borders. According to the court orders, it states, and I quote, that a conservatory order is hereby issued restraining the respondents from deploying police officers to Haiti or any other country until October 24th, 2023. Justice Enoch Chacha Mwita ruled. Justice Mwita's orders will remain in force until October 24th, when he will give further directions upon hearing from both sides of the petition. Well, of course, that is a developing story, like I've stated, that we'll be keeping tabs on, with the High Court ruling just this evening, halting the deployment of Haiti, or of Kenyan police officers, about 1,000 of them, to Haiti. Remember, this is a move that was as well approved by the United Nations Security Council, was lauded even by the US President Joe Biden, despite the fact that the African Union has, not given its position yet on that issue. So we continue to keep tabs on that. We'll be informing you as and when it develops. Kimilili Member of Parliament Didmas Barasa has pointed an accusing finger to the United Democratic Alliance Party Secretary General Cleophas Malala of infiltrating the Kenya Kwanza Alliance under the instructions of the ODM party. The legislator accuses Malala of acting under instructions to wreck the ruling party from within. The MP alleges statements in his possession, M-Pesa statements in his possession, that indicate Malala has been receiving money from quote-unquote ODM party sympathizers. Didmas Barasa further says Malala undermines the effort put by President William Ruto to unite the Mulembo nation by trying to sabotage the political relations between the Luo Nyanza and the Western Kenya region.
I have been furnished by M-Pesa statements. I have been furnished by bank statements that indicates that this young man is receiving money from ODM sympathizers to wreck the Kenya Kwanza coalition from within. This is very evident if the statements that he has been making for the last 3 months is something to go by. One, Cleophas Wahungu Malala doesn't understand the effort that our President William Samoei Ruto and very many leaders put to bring Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula within the Kenya Kwanza coalition. But he has continued to be used by the ODM and her sympathizers to incite the people of Western Kenya against the duo, and by so doing, for example, if you convene a meeting in Bungoma and you are putting Wetangula on defense, that he should tell the people of Bungoma what he has brought from national government, going insofar as even saying that the military recruits are reporting to the RTS today, and asking Wetangula to confirm, or rather to show, how many people he has given letters to join the military, is basically telling the people of Western Kenya that our President William Samoei Ruto has failed on the demands of the people of Western Kenya, because everybody understands in this country that we have one commander-in-chief, we have got one government in Kenya, and all the government of Kenya are in the hands of one William Samoei Ruto.
Health Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni has urged residents of Manyata constituency to embrace the newly launched Community Health Promoters Program to ease access to medical services. While addressing residents, the PS said residents could access basic medical services such as immunization of children, blood pressure testing, nutrition, and cholera. And the government, through the Ministry of Health, flagged off 100,000 community health promoters across the country who will make visits on Kenyans' doorsteps in a bid to achieve the universal health coverage.
The program of CHPs is one of its kind in this country. Na tunasema ya kwamba, nimesikia Mheshimiwa Mukunji amesema wakikuja kwa nyumba zenu wafungulie. Kwa sababu hatutaki kila mtu aende kwa hospitali hata akisikia kama amekohoa asubuhi. Tunataka wakikuja pale kwa household, wacha wakupime BP, wakupime blood pressure. Waangalie watoto kama wamekunywa dawa za minyoo. Waangalie kama ile nutrition munakula pale ni mzuri. Halafu waweze kukuadvise. Magonjwa yengine yenye tunaenda hospitali kwa sababu ni magonjwa yenye tunaweza tukamalizia pale nyumbani. Take for example, kuna El Nino inakuja sahi. Mvua kubwa ikikuja inakujanga na maji mingi, alafu inakuja na magonjwa kama kolera. Watoto wa shule wanaanza kuhara. Si ndio? Sasa hapo, si ni mambo ya hygiene. Tunaambiwa na CHP, wewe choo yako si safi. Hapa kwako hatuna tanki ya kuweka maji safi. Hapa kwako watu wanawe mkono. Ndio hii magonjwa ituondoke. Na tusiweze kuenda kwa hospitali kila saa. Unaenda asubuhi, unashinda hapo kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni, bado hujaonekana kwa sababu the queues are too long.
Still on health, the second round of the 5-day polio immunization campaign that is ongoing in Kiambu County that started on October 7th will run till Wednesday, October 11th this year, with organizers targeting to reach at least 3.1 million children under 5 years countrywide. Kiambu is among 10 counties that are at high risk of polio. Other counties include Nairobi, Kajiado, Machakos, Kitui, Tana River, Garissa, Lamu, Wajir, and Mandera. Kiambu is also among counties where the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with county governments and partners, successfully undertook round 1 of the polio campaigns in August this year, which targeted 3 other counties of Kajiado, Garissa, and Nairobi. During round 1 campaign, a total of 1.9 million children under 5 years were vaccinated out of a targeted 1.8 million children, translating to 104.2% coverage.
Ya muhimu ya kuwaeleza ni kwamba kumekuwa na threat mpya kuhusu polio, ya kwamba kuna ile polio chipukizi na hii polio chipukizi tumeiona kila mahali katika nchi za Afrika. Kwa wakati huu tunapoongea, nchi 22 katika Afrika zina ripoti hii polio chipukizi. Ni muhimu sana tujitokeze, tusidanganywe ya kwamba polio vaccine iko na madhara yoyote. Hii polio vaccine ndio imetutoa hiyo mwaka ya 1988 tulikuwa tuna report cases 1300. Saa hii tunaona cases 2-3 zinatokea hapa na pale. Na kesi moja ya polio, hiyo ni thibitisho ya kwamba polio bado iko. Kwa hivyo lazima tupigane mpaka tumalize polio nchini mwetu na Afrika. Kitu ingine muhimu ninayohimiza wazazi wetu, tuwatokeze watoto wetu wakapate chanjo zote zinazowekwa na Wizara ya Afya. Kwa sababu tumeona ulengevu kidogo ya kwamba zile targets tulikokuwa tunafikia za 100 juu ya 100 kwa ile routine immunization zimeanza kulengea. Zimelengea hata chembe zingine unapata hata ziko 50 kwa 100. Zingine ziko 60. Na dhamana yetu ni kwamba tupate 100 juu ya 100 kwa chanjo zote.
Shukuru sana kwa hii chanjo. Kwa maana nimeleta mtoto wangu akachanjwa na nimemzuilia kwa magonjwa ambayo hupata watoto kupitia kupooza, na nashukuru sana kwa sababu hii ministry inatusaidia sana.
Mourners in a village in Meru County are in shock after a 30-year-old woman died by suicide hours before her elder sister's funeral. The body of Irene Makandi was found hanging from a tree outside her father's house in Katheri village as mourners prepared to go to the mortuary to collect the remains of her elder sister Frida Karwiro. A suicide note was found in which Makandi apologized to her parents and relatives for the pain she had caused them. The note further requested that she be buried in the same grave as her sisters with the clothes she was wearing when she took her life, and that she should not be placed in a coffin. According to family members, the mother of one arrived from Nairobi on Saturday following the death of a 37-year-old sister from an undisclosed illness and has been actively involved in the funeral arrangements for the past 4 days until Wednesday evening.
Kwa leo tulikuwa tumejipanga kwa mazishi ya one of our daughters wa kijiji hapa. Tulikuwa tumefanya mipango yote kuzika one of our daughters, lakini kwa kuamwagia leo tukakuta ndanda yake ambaye anaitwa Irene, ambaye alikuwa na panga mambo ya contribution ya mtoto wetu anaitwa Karwiro. Kwa mkia leo ndio tulikuta sister yake amejitia kitanzi.
Ninakaa hapa ngambo hii. Hili jambo lilitukuta asubuhi, tukasikia na tukastuka sana. Lakini kile ambacho ningetaka kuomba ni ya kwamba hawa vijana, mtu akiwa akona mambo mengi, kwa mawazo mengi, ni vizuri anaingia ama anaenda kwa ule mtu ambaye ni mzee kuliko yeye, ili anamwambia lile jambo ambalo liko katika mawazo yake na ataweza saidika. Lakini akinyamaza hatapata usaidizi wowote. Kwa hivyo jambo ambalo ningetoa kwa vijana ni ya kwamba tujipe nguvu, tusive na mambo yakiwa kwa akili zetu ama kwa mioyo yetu. Ni vizuri kwenda na kuomba ushawishi kwa watu wengine, sababu ukikaa peke yako mambo yataendelea tu kuzidi. Lakini utakapoondoka na kwenda kwa mwenzako ambaye mnatokea shereana naye moyo, atakusaidia na utaendelea. So hili jambo kwangu mimi nimeona liko na huzuni sana, hata kwa wazazi na wale ambao wamezaliwa naye pamoja. Kwa hivyo ombi yangu ni ya kwamba, na kama sisi wachungaji ambao tuko area hii, ni tunastahili tushikane ili tupate kuongea na hawa vijana.
Spouse to the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has expressed her firm belief that the country will never legalize same-sex relationships. Dorcas made these remarks during an orientation forum for the first-year students at Masai Mara University in Narok County. She emphasized her view that Africa is not ready to embrace what she termed as a quote-unquote perverse culture. While addressing students, the pastor urged them to always speak out about issues affecting them rather than resorting to taking their own lives, noting the alarming increase in cases of suicide among university and college students. Pastor Dorcas also pointed out that the Kenyan Constitution does not allow same-sex marriage, and this has been the country's established stance on the matter.
I am a pastor and I am a mother. I have never in the history of the world found where religion, that is Christianity, the Muslim, the traditional religion, where the culture, where even the law, the constitution meet at one place and say this is the wrong thing. In this country, it is not lawful for a man to marry a man. It is not lawful for a woman to marry a woman. Constitutionally, it is not legal. And I am just asking myself, when we get ourselves into this space, Africa is not ready for that. We have our own culture. We have our own religion. We have our own direction. And I think it is time we come out and speak seriously and debate about this thing. And when you hear us speaking about this, we want to have a thriving Africa. Because when a man marries a man, what do they produce? And when a woman marries a woman, what do they produce? I think we must go by the divine order. When the divine order is obeyed, it is only that time that a community and a society can thrive.
Jubilee Party leadership in Mombasa County, led by the Changamwe coordinator Albert Kiguru, have outlaid their fears of their party crumbling if they fail to revitalize it by 2027 elections. The leaders have urged the national leadership, led by the Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, to duly play their role or step down from the position. Kiguru was seconded by Francis Kibuhu, who called on the former President Uhuru Kenyatta to intervene and put an end to the Mount Kenya group called Kamwene, who he says will kill the party.
Sasa imekuwa tusipojenga Jubilee hapa Mombasa kuanzia sasa, hata ni ngumu sana tukienda uchaguzi ujao tuwe na pia na watu ambao watachaguliwa Mombasa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba Jeremiah Kioni, kama ameshindwa na chama cha Jubilee, manake tunaona ya kwamba hakina uzito wowote chini yake, tafadhali apeane hiyo nafasi, tupate mtu mwingine ambaye tutajenga nyumba ya Jubilee upya kwa pamoja.
Loyote yetu sisi wana Jubilee ni ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, si yake, ni ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta na chama. Na wakati anaenda kimakosa na kuanza kusalabatisha chama ya Jubilee kufanya appointment, ni kuua na ua. Ndio tunaomba kiongozi wetu wa chama Mheshimiwa Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta aangalie kwa hii jambo.
Makosa kubwa sana ukiwa katibu mkuu wa chama, kuwa wewe ndio unavunja sheria za chama bila kunjari members wanafanya nini. Kioni mwenyewe anajua yale makosa amefanya, na sisi katika kaunti ya Mombasa tumemuomba resign.
Now, let's keep up with what is happening beyond our borders, particularly with the Israel-Palestine war. Now, these are the latest updates as heavy fighting continues between Israeli forces and Palestinian groups. Here are the latest developments in the evolving situation. On the war, Israeli warplanes destroyed a mosque in western Gaza City, bringing the total number of mosques ruined to 5. Over 500 raids on targets were carried out by the Israeli army across the Gaza Strip overnight. Around 800 to 1,000 Palestinian gunmen infiltrated Israel through 80 gaps across the border with Gaza, and this was confirmed by the Israeli army. The death toll of Palestinians rose to 493 people, and over 2,700 people have been injured. At least 700 Israelis have been killed and over 2,300 wounded. Over 120,000 Palestinians displaced in the Gaza Strip, even as more than 130 Israelis have been held captive. Scores of people staged a free protest or a free Palestine protest in southern United Kingdom, showing support for Palestinians. And a group of demonstrators gathered in the Swedish capital of Stockholm to condemn the Israeli occupation. Pro-Palestine and pro-Israel supporters rally happened across New York, and that is on the international front line. Now to sports. Harambee Stars head coach Engin Firat has named a 22-man squad for the upcoming friendly match against Russia. The national football team left the country today for their friendly match slotted for October 16th in Turkey. Gor Mahia defender Rooney Odhiambo, who has been in a sensational form for the record champions, and England-based sensational Vincent Harper, who plays for Exeter City, have received their maiden call-up to the national team. Leopards winger Clifton Miheso, midfielder Ovela Ochieng, and Tusker goalkeeper Brian Bwire makes a return to the team after a long absence. Captain Michael Olunga will lead the attacking line alongside Masood Juma, Alfred Scriven, and Kakamega homeboy striker Moses Shuma. Harambee Stars are currently preparing for World Cup qualification that will be played next month against Gabon.